Great start. Let me have some coffee. So, good morning and welcome to the Daily Cyber Briefing for Tuesday, the 17th of September. I'm Stephen Ridgway and I clearly need more coffee. SolarWinds has issued patches for a critical vulnerability in their access rights manager software, which the vulnerability could lead to remote code execution. Being tracked as CVE 2024-28991 with a CVSS score of 9.0, which is pretty serious. So if you are using SolarWinds Access Rights Manager, ARM, recommend that you take a look at the article and you look to patch as soon as is available, as soon as is possible for you. At the earliest available opportunity. Goodness me, I'm not having a great start to the day, am I? There we are. So yeah, SolarWinds have issued patches for this. I can't see any indication that it is being currently exploited. That will undoubtedly be coming soon. So take the opportunity and get ahead of the game. Also on the subject of patching things, Apple has patched or released patches for security flaws in iOS 18. So Apple's long-awaited, as they say in this particular article, long-awaited iOS 18 refresh landed on Monday with fixes for 33 security vulnerabilities that would expose iPhones and iPads to an assortment of malicious hacker attacks. So, as always, recommend you keep your any mobile devices as up to date as you can. I haven't checked to see which devices have dropped off the supported list for iOS 18, but I would expect X's or XS's now to be getting towards the end of, if not having already reached their end of support. Apple is a little unclear about when it officially stops supporting previous versions of operating systems or previous versions of hardware. So I would say for the moment, though, you would be safe if you're on 17 point something. You should be okay. But if you can move to 18 and take advantage of this, then that would be a very good thing. Also, bear in mind that Apple has also pushed out macOS Sequoia 15, which has got as they describe in the Security Week article, a massive bunch of patches for security defects across various components of the operating system. So, as always, keep up to date. It is, definitely take the opportunity to upgrade if you can. If you are on earlier versions, do be aware that there may not be an official announcement that you will never again get a security patch, because you may not. It just becomes a little uncertain. So, recently, Ivanti announced that there was a remote code execution flaw in the Ivanti Endpoint Manager, their Ivanti Endpoint Manager, not anti-endpoint, which is the vulnerability that we're talking about here is CV 2024-29847 and is a critical remote code execution vulnerability. There are patches available for this. However, be aware that there is a proof of concept that has been publicly released, proof of concept exploit that's been publicly released. So the patches were released on September the 10th, so about a week ago. Would therefore, if you are running this particular solution, if you use Ivanti for endpoint protection and you're using Ivanti Endpoint Manager, ensure that you have updated and applied these patches, or you have got it in the pipeline for to be done ASAP. Again, I came across this in a Bleeping Computer article, and as they say, patch now. So yeah, watch out for that, especially vulnerabilities in endpoint protection. Solutions are worrying because in the end, that's your last line of defense. Before that is basically the last line of defense, endpoint protection. So if that one's compromised, then you are in a painfully bad place. And talking of exploits, Microsoft confirms that an IE, Internet Explorer bug that was addressed in Patch Tuesday's patches has been exploited prior to being patched. So the bug is tracked as CVE 2024-43461, and it is it has a CVSS rating of 8.8. It is described as being an important spoofing flaw. So patches are available. Strongly recommend that you apply those patches, as always, with all things Microsoft. Keeping on top of it is very important. The noise in the background was a bacon sandwich appearing for me, which is very nice indeed. This particular vulnerability is a vulnerability in Windows MS HTML. We've spoken a bit about vulnerabilities in MS HTML over the last few weeks. There has been a lot of work, it seems, addressing these things. However, be aware, if you haven't rolled out Patch Tuesday's patches, you will undoubtedly be vulnerable to the existing exploit as it was around before the patch was made available. And then finally, from me, an update to post-quantum encryption that we've spoken about a little bit over the last few months. I think the last time we talked about it, I was exhorting people to look into this because you don't want to get caught out with having to update your encryption algorithms after quantum computing has broken all the existing ones. You need to get ahead of the game. Well, Google has been doing that with Chrome. So they have previously supported Kyber, which was used in hybrid key exchanges. They are swapping that out for what's known as Module Lattice Key Encapsulation Mechanism, MLKM. MLKM is NIST approved algorithm, and it's good to see that Google, having got ahead of the game and begun to look at the potential challenges of moving to quantum resistance encryption, they are now moving from their initial position to one which is supported by or well, approved by NIST. So it proves it can be done, and I think that's really the reason why I was bringing this to your attention. It is, I'm sure, it sits in most people's to-do list fairly close to the bottom, possibly not even on the radar or whatever else you may want to say about it. But it is something that is important, and I think that. Bleeding edge adopters of these things are going to find it difficult unless they've got a particular interest in putting effort into getting ahead. However, you don't want to be lagging behind. So I would say you don't want to be the first organisation in the world to start playing with these things. But equally, you most certainly don't want to be in the in the third or fourth quartiles of organisations looking to migrate, because you will be too late and it will be too painful. So that's all from me for today. Hope you have a good Tuesday, and I'll speak to you all again